Hello, it's Shane again.
How are you? How are you doing? How are you?
So we're gonna listen to Alex Jones on Facebook and YouTube. See if I get banned. We're gonna listen to Alex Jones, Infowars. This is just a test to see if I get banned or anything happens. And I'm gonna play some Diablo 4. Alright.
While other networks lie to you about what's happening now, Infowars tells you the truth about what's happening next. Visit Infowars.com/show and support the Infowars.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday, February 4th, 2025. And the globalist system is burning to the ground in front of our eyes.
Infowars. Tomorrow's news. Today.
14 days, 23 hours, 19 seconds into the second triumphant return of Donald John Trump. An irrevocable destruction at an accelerated rate of hyper-offensive is now happening. Oh, the globalists are in full chicken with their heads cut off, panic mode. One of their biggest money laundering operations through the CIA payoff network has been captured as of Saturday. And I told you then, the flood of criminal information coming out is the absolute assured destruction of the Democrat Party crime network. 93% of the funding that goes through it on record goes directly into their criminal syndicates that they then wage war against us and the planet with. And thousands of the bureaucrats you can't get to lift a pencil or a paperclip are out there waving their American flags, beating on the doors of U.S. aid, saying Trump and Elon Musk are fascists. And oh, Chucky Schumer's been apoplectic in the Senate chambers, but no longer is he so arrogant. He looks like a deflated balloon on the side of the highway or a blown out tire. Because they never thought somebody would actually go in to the cookie jar where they've been feeding on us with enjoyment for decades and decades, and not just take it over and then give it to themselves, but burn it politically to the ground. And then when they were all whining and bitching, Trump and his press secretary and Elon and Senator Kennedy said, oh, I'm afraid we're going to shut down the Department of Education next. And then we've got all the squeaking and squawking and whining and crying that it's illegal to do this. It's an independent agency. Now, the only group that can say that and wave their finger in front of the president's face and say, you can't do nothing to me, is the private Federal Reserve. But of course, it can have its charter revoked. And I assure you, it's on the list. So, I am super focused like a laser beam. And we have an incredible top researcher with the AI maps of U.S. aid and other slush funds who'll be joining us in the third hour, then Roger Stone into the fourth with huge breaking exclusive intel. And then we've just got masses of incredible news that I must and I will cover today. You're not going to get the preaching, because I'm going to control myself, and the pontificating, because I am holding myself on a very short leash. You are going to get laser focus, bam, 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 bam. When we join the 460 plus radio stations now that carry this exploding populist pro-human transmission, that is a weapon system of truth that initiated through you, the support, everything we see happening now. I've got something very important I'm going to say when we return in T-minus 60 seconds. But first, remember, you hold the keys to destiny. You hold the power of the future in your hands. Share the live link from Real Alex Jones on X. Now, do it. Do it. It is Tuesday, February 4th, 2025. I am your embattled, battle-hardened information warfare field marshal, coming to you from the legendary state of Texas, transmitting worldwide. Well, I can tell you 100%, Trump has outperformed my wildest dreams. Elon Musk has surpassed my wildest desires. The execution, the energy, the fact that Trump and Elon and all of their team laugh in the face of the squeaking, squawking, pedophilic criminals. Every bit of the messaging and the truth and the informativeness and the competency is like being held underwater for 4 minutes by a savage 400-pound sumo wrestler, and finally getting them off of you and sticking your head back above the surface and getting that precious air. I am beyond euphoric. I am just so thankful to God and so thankful and humbled by all of you, not just my fellow fabulous, amazing Americans, not just my compatriots here in this republic, that all the red-blooded humans that love liberty and freedom, and whose North Star is the Spirit of God shining through us, filling our sails with a crisp, clean wind of change. All right, let me calmly tell you what's coming up today. Several huge guests in the third and fourth hour. The massive minute-by-minute developments with Doge and Trump targeting U.S. aid, the most openly corrupt, arrogant, rogue agency, CIA, money laundering operation, and the announcements of who's next. The Department of Education, then the private Federal Reserve. Incredible. Then we've got Pam Bondi clearing committee set to win by a large margin. RFK Jr. just hours ago clearing the Senate committee with at least 5 more votes than he needs. Not saying it's the bad, keep the pressure on, but he had the votes a few days ago, but the people put loving pressure, legal and lawful, on them. Because we have a Republican leadership that will now fight, and will now primary, and will now politically destroy anyone that stands in our way. And we've got Kosh set to be confirmed, and so much more. And suddenly, Tulsi was on the razor's edge, only 1 or 2 extra votes. Now others are capitulating. So, do not rest. Continue to exercise your will and your speech and your intellect in the information war. Then got huge developments on the Ukraine war front. We have the enemy's main attack plan to crash the economy. And even if they do that, the globalists are going to get the blame because we have information warfare superiority and the public's not asleep anymore. And so I would advise the globalists to stop. But it looks like they're not. That will just accelerate their destruction. Because Trump is geopolitically seizing the infrastructure handed over by treasonous presidents to put us in a position of economic checkmate when they decided to bring down the currency and the U.S. dollar and make Social Security insolvent. But Trump's making all the right moves to ensure we blast our way out of that with geopolitical moves and economic moves. And that's what he's done. Oh, they were howling and screaming that Canadians were unified and we're going to beat the evil Americans. And then just like that, more and more Canadian prominent people came out and said, no, it is a one-sided deal. It is a screw job. And a more prosperous America will make us prosperous. And then Trudeau last night rolled over, just like the Mexican president, and said, we capitulate. It's not been fair what we've done to America. But it wasn't the Canadians did it. It was the globalists did it. And so we have that. And then we have the disgraced former FBI leadership running around screaming and foaming at the mouth, desperate. And then it continues on the border and the actions there. U.S. launches reconnaissance aerial monitoring aircraft over Mexican border in run-up to potential cartel strikes. And Tom Homan said exactly what I said he should do yesterday. He said it last night. He didn't probably get it from me. He's a smart guy. We're simpatico. He said, oh, it's not going to be the Border Patrol that comes and raids his house, this human trafficking operation he's so proud of. No, it'll just be the U.S. attorneys that get him indicted. And when that gets promised, it's going to happen because these are real crimes, cut and dry. And it goes on and on and on and on. And then we've got the EU responding with total censorship regulations going into effect now. As the reform parties, the anti-globalist parties, surge in every country, winning every election. And the EU says, we'll just cancel that election. And then the other big parties go, no, we're with the populist parties, like AFD. Well, we'll ban you too. And now the approval ratings of the globalists are going through the floor. We have forced them to take the mask off. Just put Governor Murphy up on screen, please. And people don't like what they see. And then, you know, I deserve, and you deserve, a little fun. And so many times every day, I see really funny, ridiculous things that are also illustrative and very informative to help people grasp how the Buffalo job, the con job, the scams of the globalists work. But I'll tend to not do that because it feels like dunking, and that can become a distraction. But I was really praying about it last night, and I was really thinking about it last night. Let's put the governor up. Oh no, it's that special photo we've been showing. The one they were showing yesterday, the one we showed on American Journal today. You know, the one with the big teeth. Let's just take that down now. We don't have it. No, that's. So, getting back to what I was saying here. The bad guys have provided us with at least 7 deliciously hilarious things that I'm going to cover today. And I'm going to cover, I'm going to cover, did you hear they're coming out with a new Nosferatu, a remake of the original German film? Starring the governor. No makeup needed, sorry. If you're a radio listener, you're spared looking at it. That is a literal creature from hell, of course. But let me move on. The first fabulous unintentional comedy today that I'll hit at the bottom of the hour, in about 16 minutes, 17 minutes, is AOC. I can't help it. I love her. You know, she's so dangerous and horrible. And I mean, I really mean it. She is the top comic on earth right now, and she doesn't even know it. She's also probably one of the most unself-aware people I've ever seen. I'm not going to, I always say something's coming up and I go ahead and cover it then. No, I'm going to spend a few minutes on this today at the bottom of the hour. I'm going to hold what she's done till then. And, oh, it really brings rosiness to my cheeks, flushes me with blood, because it's so hilarious. And the funniest part is she believes it. Because that's the arrogance of idiots. And I coined the term decades ago, invincible ignorance. There is nothing more invincible than a moron, low-grade idiot's arrogance and being totally tone deaf. So that's coming up along with some other, I had a bunch of clips of Chucky Schumer flipping out, man. I mean, I've been hating him. He's been in Congress and in the Senate before I was on air. So I've been fighting Chucky Schumer for 31 years in April. And he is an evil bastard. So, I mean, he's bad. He is real bad, as you know. So that's coming up too, and a lot more. Elon did that big Spaces. It was really powerful. And I got busy yesterday, didn't have time to listen to it, so I listened to a bunch of it last night. He did it recently. It's powerful. Look at that. We let that rule us? But see, once the trance is lifted, once we're out of the spell, we're like, what? We let that do all this? All because we're scared of him calling us names? No. Don't confuse Governor Murphy with Schumer. Murphy's Nosferatu. Schumer's more like a sea hag that cut its hair or something. Like, if a sea hag transition to a male, that would be Chucky Schumer. And Chucky Schumer's wife. Okay. Oh my God, please. Yeah, everybody deserves a little fun. So I promise I'm going to bring back some of the old Alex Jones. He's always been there. He never left. But I've been so focused on crushing the enemy, and we've still not completed our job, that, man, all right, get it off screen. That's enough. It's like looking at roadkill or something. It's evil. It's a form of degeneracy to look at them. Just looking at them is a sin. Take him off screen, please. That's enough. Okay, I'm going to stop. All right, back to what I was saying. So, that and a lot more today. Oh, they have made it official. The EU is mandating bug protein in all bread. You're like, well, I'm not going to eat it. Well, you're not going to get bread. You see, animal protein is evil if it's from milk in the bread or eggs in the bread. So you will eat the bugs. Now, we're going to defeat the EU tariff. Because it's not just our fellow humans that are under it. They're going to keep directing attacks at us if we don't free Europe. So see, empathy is the right move. Those of us that already have it just go, we got to free Europe. But then you intellectually go, well, why did God design me that way? Because if they're not free, we're going to end up not being free. So I see this all the time. Why does Jones care about Australia, or care about China, or care about Mexico, or care about Brazil? it's the very same globalists that are raping them that have been raping us. So let's help each other. All right, I'm going to stop. There's also a bunch of announcements of prosecutions and investigations, not just of Chuck E. Schumer, but of the ringleader FBI agents that were known to run J6 and then also run the fake investigation after for the cover-up, where they frame us and then they the DOJ is launched a massive investigation along with the new J6 committee that will actually be constitutional because they'll let the Democrats have their vote and put their scum on the panel, which will be great entertainment. I'm sure most of the ones they're going to put on it were actually involved in the operation. It's hilarious, actually. So we'll watch them politically bleed out on that. So Trump is hitting, attacking, just dizzying. And I go back to that Patton quote that I read on air yesterday that's hanging on the wall out there. In fact, I'm just going to go back to that. It's too important. Then I'll get into all of this. This is just too important. Guys, I just want to have it on the hotkey in there. It's hanging on the wall out there. Rob hung it up on the wall out there in the hallway, out of the studio into the control room. There it is. Attack rapidly, ruthlessly, viciously, without rest, however tired and hungry you may be. The enemy will be more tired, more hungry. Keep punching. And I just love Trump and Elon example because my crew already is dauntless and works really hard. But they've been trying to get me to work more. That's a first. It's like in that line, Full Metal Jacket, it's so accurate. I talked to the Marines, especially back then that went through boot camp. They say they have flashbacks because they dumped the script once they were just going to use that real gunny sergeant as an advisor. He said, this is all wrong. So they just rewrote the whole first half of the movie, where they're at the Marine base before they go to Vietnam. And so he wrote it. I forget his name. He's super famous. Everybody knows who he is. And
Lee Emery.
There's that line in there that the drill sergeants are getting really excited in the last few days of boot camp because the power of these young Marines was growing out of their control. Forget the exact line. But that's what I like seeing. Because my mission has always been to become obsolete. Because everybody gets it. And then once everybody gets how tyranny operates, now this current permutation and combo operates, it's so much fun to defeat tyranny. It's such a pleasure. An extreme pleasure. I mean, sometimes, I'm going to meet my wife and get her or something and everything's, and I'll just say, I'm sorry, I have to stay at work. Even though I want to go eat a nice dinner and be with my wife. That's a lot of fun. It's like, I'm sorry, this drive state, and I got a lot of drive state for eating food, you know what I mean, is not anything compared to the drive state of crushing the enemy. What is best in life? To have a falcon on your wrist and to have the wind of the steppes in your hair. Wrong! Conan! What is best in life? To crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, and the lamentation of the women. Good, that's right. But who are enemies? The worst scum the planet has ever seen. No, it's not sitting on your horse with the wind blowing in your hair, feeling vain like some Hollywood scumbag. It's crushing your enemies. It's seeing them driven before you. And the lamentation of the women. Well, they said to me on the stand in the rig trial, they go, is the most important thing in your life to be accurate? And I said, no, it's crushing the globalist like you. But truth is the weapon that crushes the enemy. So it's not two different things. Comprende? Do you hear me? So let me say what I said I was going to say at the start of this segment. When I went to break, I said, okay, that's really important to say. At the current escalation, logarithmic destruction of globalist operations, their power, their money, their connections, everything that I'm seeing out of Trump and Musk and their operation that they understand is they're all going to get killed, but President, they don't win now. They are going for broke with the desperateness of the samurai. Not even 10 men could kill such a man. At the current acceleration rate, the globalists are completely smashed within 90 days. Now, if Trump could have just stabilized in 2 years and removed 80% of them, I thought that would be a total win. I thought that was about the best we'd get. No, it's a totally different animal. And when Trump said, I have been reborn, I've learned a lot. And I mean, he has been planning and preparing. And again, even if they kill him, which they're going to try for sure, even though it won't work. But if they're totally off balance, and the whole bunch of indictments, which you know are incoming, happen with the goods, they won't even be able to do that. And I'm just staggered by what's happening. But you know, that's the thing about life. People think evil's invincible. They think it's all powerful. Like there'll be some, you're in 7th grade and there's some kid that's flunked 3 grades and he's got a mustache and he weighs 220 pounds and he's always beating people up and nobody will stand up to him. He beats you up a few times and you go home with black eyes. Your dad says, well, you just got to fight harder. Well, what do I do, Dad? He goes, well, he waits for you when you get off the bus and jumps on you and sits on you and spits on you and blacks your eyes. He goes, is any rocks around? Anything going on? I said, next time that happened, I picked up a piece of concrete, smashed across his face, but basically put his eye out. That's a good job. My dad's not a mean person. He's just like some son, and people tried to sue us. My dad said, fuck you. It's your son loosening my son's teeth, giving me black eyes. You're lucky I didn't come to your house, buddy. Who do you think you're fucking with? People that take your shit? You want to fight? You got one. Excuse me. Let's go out with Conan, then we'll come back with all the big news. I'm ready. Start your engines. Here it is.
My fear is that my sons will never understand me.
How, Daniel? We won again. This is good. But what is best in life? The open steppe, free thoughts, falcons at your wrist, wind in your hair.
Wrong! Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of your women.
That is good. That is good.
No, it's the execution. It's what you build. It's what you do that is who you are. Not your globalist fantasies of power. You really thought humanity would put up with this? You didn't know we were working constantly to wake people up, knowing when you finally made your main move, it would be your destruction, not ours? You dug a pit for us, and now you're politically going to be buried in it. Boy, Michael Bloomberg is so upset that it came out that his gun control group are the ones behind the onion and the lawsuits and all of it, trying to shut down Infowars. And remember back in November, they said they owned it, tried to kick us out of the building. The judge overrode it. It wasn't true. It was a hoax. But a lot of people still think they own Infowars or InfoWarsStore.com. And so it's really hurt sales by over 70%. So if we don't get funds in at Infowars Store, we will shut down. Now, even if they're successful, and we're beating them right now, it'll take a month and a half or so for that to happen. So right now, in February, you are able to get all these products delivered to you very, very quickly. All the fan favorites, all the classics, X2, Vitamin Mineral Fusion, Body's Ultimate Turmeric Formula, it's all there, ladies and gentlemen. Also, Brain Force Ultra, an incredible fast-acting nootropic with no letdown. Vaso Beats, so good for your heart, your whole cardiovascular system. It's all available right now at InfoWarsStore.com, not owned by Bloomberg or The Onion. Folks, I'm not funded by any big corporations or anybody. I am funded by viewers and listeners because over the years they would target our sponsors and threaten to take them away. We direct sell high-quality products, supplements, mementos, collectible knives, Patriot gear at thealexjonesstore.com. But the supplements are some of the best you're going to find anywhere. And we have this new product that boosts your immune system with all the known concentrated herbs and compounds. Atomic defense, meaning, nuke the bad guys, boost your immune system ahead of all the things that are going on. It's so good for you. The ingredients are incredible. It's our newest product at thealexjonesstore.com, and then it funds our operation as a political, cultural, spiritual immune system to fight the globalist, a true 360 win. And out of the gates, it's 40% off introductory offer. You take this, it's good for your whole body. You take it all the time, particularly in the fall and winter. Everybody needs atomic defense. thealexjonesstore.com. And sirens are going off inside the globalist command bases everywhere. And in most cases, the Trump administration legally, lawfully, constitutionally has seized control. And with total commitment to their promises, are flooding the zone with all the crimes and corruption and theft of our enemies that suddenly want to wave American flags. Just like enemy soldiers parachuting behind enemy lines, wearing the country they're invading's uniforms, camouflaging themselves as Americans, when they are certified enemies of not just America, but of every human on the face of this planet. Their parasitic social Darwinian cult is the enemy of human life and progress, and I know that they have declared war on us in their covert operations for decades, and I accept the challenge. You can feel it. You can see it. The spirit of humanity is rising. Amazing. All right. Let's get started with some fun. But it's also very illustrative of our enemies' mindsets, which, when you see their confidence, you see the corporate media's glitz and glamour, and you believe that, well, maybe they're right, maybe two men can have a baby, maybe fentanyl isn't a problem, maybe World War III is a good thing, maybe drag queen story time isn't such a bad idea, maybe they are going to give us a utopia, maybe we should just do what they say. Maybe communism works. Maybe we should open our borders. Maybe white people are inherently evil and need to be gotten rid of. Maybe eating bugs is a good idea. I mean, it's not just a reasonable thing to not go along with it. I mean, they're reasonable guys. Let's do it. And when you're under the spell, that I've never been under, thank God, but many people have been under, and you come out of the spell, you come out of the trance, you come out of the mind control, you come out of the Stockholm Syndrome, the learned helplessness, And you say, what the hell's going on here? And then you get our sweet little darling, the barista, the bartender. I think it's bartenders, and there's a lot of smart ones actually, but taken and put up by the establishment because she's such a mindless vessel that will execute things like a animatronic, giggling robot. And she said a lot of hilarious stuff over the years. Remember, every time I mention it, I want to find the video and play it again. She's like, she puts on a fake, I guess, Hispanic accent. She's never talked that before. And she goes, we have these community gardens, and there's too much cauliflower grown there that the white people eat. We need other things grown, not the white people's food. And what the hell does cauliflower have to do with white people? By the way, cauliflower is from Africa. But it's white. I remember even the New York Times writers years ago were like, milk might be racist.
Milk
And
might
they
be
went in
racist.
trying to explain it. So you just see everything and feel, oh my God, everything's evil. Cows are evil. Their farting is going to kill the earth. And we got to cut the trees down, Bill Gates said. I mean, they're carbon too. And you're the carbon. Now they came out last year and said, well, humans are bad. We put off methane too. They listed carbon dioxide as a pollutant. That's what we exhale and plants breathe. So, you know, the magnitude of the wall of fraud every few years. Oh, by next year, the ice caps will be totally melted. They're bigger than ever. Why white supremacists are chugging milk? New York Times. Another New York Times headline. Why asking questions is bad. That's almost as crazy as Kerry a few times last year saying, we got to cut off half the farm production in the world or people will starve. The white supremacist origins of exercise. That's another gold mine. But children are designed, especially in large instructional groups, it triggers epigenetics when they would be gathered around the campfires by the elders throughout our human experience. It's a ritual. It means it's epigenetic. It's in your DNA. Everybody gets around and somebody gets up and teaches how to hunt, or teaches about how to fight, or teaches how to build a fire, or tells you about the elders and the stories of the people. Those are special times in the tribe. So the children all get gathered together, and then they have some big fat man in a clown outfit say, I'm a woman, I'm your mommy now, let me groom you. Come sit on my lap, I have an erection. I'm a convicted pedophile. So the children don't know. They go in and say, we're going to play different roles today. You're little boys and girls, but now the boys will be girls and the girls will be boys. And then they said, do you feel like you're a girl now? Yes, I feel like I'm a girl now. Well, we're going to put you in a secret program. In a few years, cut your penis off. Of course, they don't tell you that. That's not diabolical or anything. So they try to keep us in a childlike state of arrested development where they're the instructors and they're the authorities and they're the experts and they're the bosses and they're the guardians and they're the moral people, and you've got to do everything they say or you're just going to be a bad person, and we're going to give you a social credit score and not let you buy or sell or have a job or live if you don't do what we say because we're liberal and loving. And then you get AOC in one of her latest fabulous comedy saying, quote, Elon Musk is one of the most unintelligent billionaires I've ever met or seen. And the poster said, who's going to tell her? I said, in response to reposting it on X, at Real Alex Jones, the globalists would hate it if you followed me and shared the videos and articles. That might hurt the globalists a little more. Don't do that. Oh, please don't. Elon Musk is the most intelligent person on the planet when it comes to wide spectrum knowledge and force of will. AOC is one of the most unself-aware people on Earth, but also one of the greatest unintentional comics in history. Now, let me unpack that before I play the clip. The average libtard is taught one spectrum analysis, not even third-dimensional understanding, or first-level responses or issues They're certainly not taught second level consequences or third level or fourth level, or they tell you there's not even a third or fourth level if they studied it. Because they're designed and brainwashed and put in a position of being automatonics or automatons. Metropolis-style biological androids, regurgitators. Puppets that parrot what they're told. So they will say, oh, Jones is an academic. He just said Elon is intelligent on the force of will scale. They don't even know that real intelligence is not quantified by a simple IQ test. That is only one approximation of a spectrum of the educational system's labels. But he does have a very high IQ on that scale, or that gauge. Real intelligence is having a conscience, having innate programming God gave you to have a conscience. That is one of the most important forms of intelligence. Then there's the intelligence to be able to appreciate beauty. Then there is musical intelligence, mathematical intelligence, aesthetic intelligence, linguistic intelligence, physical intelligence, which a high-capacity, fast-moving brain, it's physical, but it's also the body's physical intelligence. The cells, your immune systems, you have a great immune system. It has a high intelligence and high energy electrochemical operation. And so I've told you 1,000 times 1,000, the most powerful people have wide spectrum intelligence, and then they apply it to real world events and street smarts and trial and error. That's why Musk says with his managers that he commands, his generals, I want to be told what they really think. I want to know about the problems now. I want to be challenged. I don't want to be in an echo chamber. That is stagnancy. A rotting, green sludge pit with rats crawling around the edge and leeches flirting about in the mud. No, we love beautiful, fast-moving, crystal-clear water, transparency, purity, enlightenment, electricity. So, AOC is a very dim bulb, and it's sad, but there's still in God's perfection that God creates a beauty for us in her totally unself-aware, sadly moronic consciousness.
She is hot.
Because she's so happy in this video. She's feeling so powerful. She's actually believing that she's smarter than Elon Musk.
She's got nice tits.
All she does is regurgitate talking points and act confident. It's all a facade. But in that is beauty. God takes evil and makes it produce good. As in an instruction to us, do not be like AOC. And of course, do not be like Chicken Schumer, who on a charisma scale is a 0. Reminds me of the former, who was the last mayor, the communist one. He's like, I've got a burger, take the shot. Good burger. Yeah, Bill de Blasio, I mean, that guy's got a 0 on the orator scale. He has 0 charisma. I will, that's an intelligence scale. I will give AOC this. She has some charisma. And it's hilarious. Because just like Kamala Harris has a little charisma, it goes up and down from zero charisma to a little bit of charisma. It goes like a light bulb that has no light in it, kind of going bzz. But not with AOC. Oh, no, 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 no. She just has blazing stupidity. Here, let's accuse Elon for outstretching his hand to a crowd and saying, "For my heart to you." And let's say it's Hitler, and let's not go check if we've done that 1,000 times. That's low intelligence. If I'm going to attack somebody for what they've said or done, first I go, well, do I agree with them? So I'm not going to attack them. I think it's right. But they're deceptive, so they'll attack somebody even though they've said the same thing before. They won't even think, did I ever say that, before they tell a lie. Gee, can I get away with this lie? That's what they don't even ask that. They're just running around lying constantly. I mean, sometimes I'll have a lie pop in my head, and I'll go, that's not a thought from me. Why would I tell that lie? I was driving on the car yesterday, these dirty tricks were popping in my head. I was like, well, I did not initiate that in my cerebral cortex. What is that? Nope. Oh, but look how good this would be. I'm like, nope. Are you on my shoulders, Satan? Get off that. But imagine these people, they really think lying's cool. But lying only works when people are asleep. It doesn't work anymore when people are awake. So I got a lot to cover, but let's move on here. Let me play the clip. But the disconnectedness, the tone deafness, to look at somebody who in everything he's done has succeeded, innovated, maverick, trailblazer of trailblazers. I mean, taking down, dismantling the federal government, taking on the globalist mafia, point-blank range, lightning speed, supercharging Trump, taking over X, removing 80% of the employees, 85 or whatever it was, executing, succeeding, innovating. The rocketry, more innovation the entire 80 years before it, at least about 100 of rocketry, aeronautics, engineering, 33-story giant boosters landing with huge robot arms 1 year after he says, I want a robot arm. Because they're like, well, we have to put giant legs on it, and that gives it a lot of weight. And he goes, just have an arm grab it. Because all their other spacecraft, you have the little legs come out, which people theorized 150 years ago. Now we have. Nobody actually tried to do it like Musk did. He's like, no, we'll just have a giant robot arm. How's that sound? And then he's got the platform, and it's built at a certain point. You see, he's been building all this success and this infrastructure, and then it gets to a certain point, like a rocket on a launch pad, where, and see, that's what I told you on election day, and when we won, I said, this is primary ignition, Houston, Starbase, Texas launch. We are in a launch mode. Now, it got off the launch pad, it said 30,000 feet, was going 10,000 miles an hour last week. Now it's going 20,000 miles an hour. Escape velocity. It's amazing. And then, best-selling electric cars. Super innovation, launched more satellites than everybody else in all of history combined in just a few years. And they work great. I got a couple Starlinks. And they get better and better all the time. First put them in a few years ago, worked okay, out in the country, got what I needed done. About a year later, that's really fast now. Now it's like, God almighty, this is badass. Game changer. And it goes on and on and on. And we're supposed to recognize brilliance. We're supposed to get behind it when it's behind us. But no. She doesn't go, oh, maybe I should work for this team. She's so stupid. Because if she was smart and evil, she'd roll over. But no, because she's dumb. Dumber than a box of hammers. The only intelligence she has is a little bit of charisma. That's it. That's all. And not ugly, but she's so stupid she's really ugly to me. I've super gorgeous women, and then I found out they're liberals. It's just like, it's like, you are gross, lady. You can have a woman that's not classically physically attractive but smart. I'm just like, wow, talk about sexy. That brain.
It's true. That's why I cheated on my ex. Couldn't take her stupidness.
All right, let's hear from this sad creature heard us.
This dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met or seen or witnessed. Which, you know, you can probably even glean that from watching these people on TV. Anyways, all of that is to say is that they don't do their homework. Clearly, like, they're putting 19-year-olds in at the Treasury. This dude is not smart. And the danger in the lack of intelligence and the lack of expertise that Elon has. I mean, this guy is one of the most morally vacant, but also just least knowledgeable about these systems that we really know of. But the point is that what that means is that they're going to hit a button inevitably. They are going to hit a button and things can go silent.
What they're saying is when anything goes wrong, they're going to blame it on this. I know you're the button that went wrong. And I could talk for an hour about everything she said there. Bunch of young people, yeah, all the best super brains he's got, he's donating into this. And boy, these dumbasses are sure kicking your ass, sweetheart, in your little pedo party. And P. Diddy and all of them. So, I'm going to stop there. We're going to go to break. I'm going to get into all the Doge news and all the other insane news. It's just wild. And how the enemy's going to strike back. Just the border news and the war news, the economy news, and the FBI. What's happening there? It's all massive. Please remember, we have the very best products out there. Today's the day at thealexjonestore.com that the 20% off sale on all the top-of-the-line supplements ends. And that's 20% on top of sales that are already there. So some of these are lost leaders. CMOS, we want you to try it. Is the ultimate superfood for energy, stamina, clarity, immune system, everything. It has the very best, strongest, concentrated organic iodine. We have the gummies back in stock. We have the powder capsules. They're even stronger. Everybody loves the gummies. They got those first and they work great. I'm saying you like that, get capsules. We have the ultimate turmeric formula that's not just turmeric, but it's the strongest turmeric out there, 95% curcumin. We have the gummies, and it's got the concentrated ginger that's similar to what it does. They work synergistically with a bunch of other compounds. Ultimate turmeric formula. Ultimate CMOS. Almost everybody that orders it gets it again because it really works. I don't know why we called it, because I didn't name this one Ultimate Iron. Iron's really good. It's a good quality iron. It's super strong organic vitamin C and zinc. It's an amazing product. And then, I haven't talked about this enough, the very best concentrated herbs for a serious gut cleanse, any little parasites or anything, in the gut cleanse formula, that's discounted, and the probiotic. And this thing's got 6 of the very top of the line best microorganisms. That's what it is, folks. You know, you do one kind of microorganism, it makes this type of cheese. One type of microorganism, it does this. You take this microorganism, it kills you. You know, E. coli can do that. These are the 6 best known bacteria. This is a super formula that kick out the bad ones, take over, and do great things, and produce wonderful things in your gut. You know, like this key amino acid, I was reading about it the other day, it's BTC 157, a bunch of others. You gotta have the right little sweetsies in your belly, little cupcakes that God designed us to have, or you don't produce these special compounds that only are made in your upper and lower intestine, sweethearts. So I don't talk enough about the probiotic. I'm talking enough about the gut cleanse that go together like a horse and carriage. You don't take the gut cleanse all the time, just once a year. But the probiotic, just boop, take it when you have a meal, and they're the best. And then it funds the best operation crushing enemy forces. I mean, we were the biggest, most effective. I'm happy to have Trump and Elon and all of them dwarfing me, and all the other talk shows waking up, just doing splendid jobs. But we still have an important role here. Not sure how long, though. TheAlexJonesStore.com, the coordinates for incredible products, the widest selection of Patriot apparel. The VIP program is $40 a month to spend in for just $30. I am fighting for you. You are fighting for me. We are in this together. I need all of you that listen to the show and share the clips that never go to the AlexJonesStore.com and go get the Ultimate Sea Moss capsules, the superfood of superfoods. Go get the Ultimate Turmeric, strongest turmeric formula out there with a lot more in it. To go get our super strong elderberry antiviral immune system booster that's so good for you, not just immune system. You want to get our super high quality vitamin and mineral and electrolyte concentrate that is just one of the best out there, Hydroforce. These are things you need, and they're competitively priced, and the biggest selection of Patriot apparel to spread the word and meet like-minded people, and a lot of other great stuff. And then it keeps this broadcast on the air. But I need your help, because that is an action of war. You're standing up for yourself when you share the articles, when you share the reports, when you pray for the broadcast, when you buy the products at thealexjonesstore.com. This is not a spectator sport. This is man in the arena, game time stuff. Without going into tons of minutia and boring you, from the bottom of my heart, on the souls of my children, I need money to continue this fight. And it's not even that much. I mean, we're on 400 plus stations. We're on cable and TV stations. We are reaching over 100 million views a day on X. Millions and millions at Infowars. And then that's not even counting other people to grab it and put it everywhere. And I understand the economy's been screwed up, and I understand all this stuff that's going on. But, I mean, 99.9% of people that watch and listen to the show never understand this isn't a simulation. This isn't an entertainment show. This is a fight. This is an information war. I know what I'm talking about. I know how to beat the enemy. They really don't like me and my guests or information, because I've got strategies that will defeat them, and you see that working. And very prominent people listen to me, and we have a huge effect on influencing the fight for human liberty. I'm a lobbyist for humanity and freedom and justice in life. So go to thealexjonesstore.com. Go there and get the products today. They're great products. It's an adventure to wear these t-shirts. You'll meet so many cool people. You'll have so much fun. I mean, people finally get the shirts, they go, oh my God, somebody just bought my dinner. Oh my God, I'm meeting all these great people. Yeah. All of this, I mean, the products make you healthier, more focused, and live longer, and they're top of the line. The Patriot apparel, the adventure that happens with that, the cool knives, the coins, the challenge, I mean, all of it is cool. I mean, I'd want that stuff on a site, even if they didn't have a show and we're taking on the New World Order and been targeted. This is not a normal show where I can just sit up here and do what we do. We have the biggest Democrat law firms filed in court 2 months ago that they've spent over the years $326 million suing me. It takes money to fight tyranny. It's one thing to have courage and information and be willing to do it, but if you're going to prominently take them on and they're going to hit back, you gotta square up and go for broke. But I can't do it without you. You are the variable. It's in your hands whether I continue to give this everything I've got. And all I ask you to do is empower me and continue to commission me. And I swear on my soul I will never betray you, and I will give you everything I've got. Turn me loose!
Today, staffers for the U.S. Agency for International Development, known as USAID, were told to stay out of the Washington, D.C. headquarters. USAID staffers said they tracked 600 employees who reported being locked out of the agency's computer systems overnight. USAID security chiefs were placed on leave after refusing to turn over classified material in restricted areas.
An unelected shadow government is conducting a hostile takeover of the federal government. Friday night, the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, led by billionaire Elon Musk, gained access to the Treasury Department's entire system of payments, including Social Security and Medicare benefits and Americans' tax refunds.
And that is only a snapshot. That in and of itself is irrevocably discrediting and devastating the entire globalist, not just here but worldwide, money laundering, political control system of the tax-free foundations, the NGOs, the CIA, the State Department, and their counterparts in other Western countries.
So, what is USAID? When people hear the name USAID, they focus on aid. They focus on thinking like it's humanitarian work. But aid is not actually in the name of USAID. USAID stands for the United States Agency for International Development. Not aid. It's not a charity. And international development is simply capacity building. It is local and regional capacity building done across the whole world, i.e. internationally. The primal id in USAID, international development, is about capacity building of assets that can be used by either the Pentagon, the State Department, or the CIA for their own activities. So if you're the Secretary of State and you were asked by the National Security Council or the President to do something in a different country, overthrow their government, how would you do that? And the first thing that I said is you would look at the assets that already exist in the country. Do we need new assets in addition to the ones that we currently have, or are the existing assets, can they achieve this simply by giving them enough money, giving them enough resources, giving them enough training, giving them enough support? One of the main ways that capacity building would be financed would be through USAID. USAID would say that it's doing something, funding a hospital system, funding universities, funding civil society organizations, funding media institutions, funding independent media in the region. Sorry, there's something in my eye. Independent media in the region on USAID payroll. And those institutions, those assets, would then be bigger and more powerful and more capable, capacity, more capable of serving the State Department's goal, aka advancing U.S. national interests.
There are riots in, it's called the Maidan Rebellion in Ukraine, which we're not told that we are financing those riots. The newspapers never told us, our government never told us. USAID, which is a CIA front, put $5 billion into funding those riots. Those riots lead to a coup d'etat against the first democratically elected government of the Ukraine. It was a government that refused to choose sides and to say we're going to be on the side of the West. So we wanted them out. A month before that government is overthrown, Victoria Nuland, who's the part of the centerpiece of the neocon ideology and who is now a high-level official in the State Department, has a secret call with the U.S. ambassador, which is tape recorded and is now public, which anybody can go and look up, where she is picking the new cabinet for the Ukraine, which is which is a U.S. Western cabinet. So they're picking the new government a month before the old government is overthrown.
Is that how democracy when Victoria Nuland picks her government?
In terms of sort of the process moving ahead, we want to keep the moderate Democrats together. The problem is going to be Tony Book and his guys. And, I'm sure that's part of what Yanukovych is calculating on all of this.
I think Yats is the guy who's got the economic experience, the governing experience. He's the guy, what he needs is Cleach and Tony Book on the outside. He needs to be talking to them 4 times a week. I just think Cleach going in, he's going to be at that level working for Yatsenyuk. It's just not going to work.
Trump didn't just freeze the $3 trillion in the NGO slush funds last week, and then some low-level federal judge blocked it for now. And Musk and Trump said, that's fine. We already control the payment systems, and almost all this is totally illegal. And so we're just blocking all these payments ourselves at the executive level. And we're just going to expose it all to the light of day. See how you vampires like that. All we needed was the facts and the blueprint of the enemy operation, and then men and women that have the will to be free and not bow to the New World Order. I have been betting on you for 30 plus years, and now you are delivering. The New World Order bet on slavery and ignorance, and they've hurt a lot of people and killed so many more. But now, the tide has not just turned. An inexorable tsunami, a violent storm of awakening, is crushing the globalist, relentless waves of truth and execution, battering them against the rocks, crashing their skulls down upon the hard truths. They're already bloody pulps, irrevocable, devastating, grievous wounds have already been plunged into their political hearts, non-violently, lovingly, liberally. It's all coming out about who cooked up the bioweapon. It's all coming out who shipped in the little kids. It's all coming out who made deals with the drug cartels to launder the money. It's all coming out about the CIA and USAID. It's all coming out, and when you see the desperate leftists surrounding, they're still there today, the recaptured federal agency, USAID, they're scared. And not because totalitarianism is coming for them, but because their oppressive, tyrannical, hyper-totalitarian boot is being removed millisecond by millisecond from our collective necks. And all the corporate media and all their dirty tricks and all their little cards up their filthy little sleeves aren't just having no effect. They are enraging and empowering with moral will those of us who have labored as winter soldiers and paid high prices in the trenches of the information war. We were becoming stronger under the pressure, while they decadently preening themselves on high surveyed us as mere mortals to be poisoned, dumbed down, abused, robbed, and finally killed. And yes, they were successful in hurting and killing many people. But in the end, it only accelerated their final fall and destruction. Do I sound more intellectual to the self-appointed liberals now? Would you like me to affect elitism for you? Would you like me to? What did old Chucky Schumer say a few years ago about the Supreme Court and Trump and Roe v. Wade? That they would pay and they would be hit hard if they didn't give him the blood of the children he so desires, for his God is paymaster. And now, how's little Chucky doing? All right, let's start getting into what's happening. I could dispense all of this information very elegantly, but I'm afraid we wouldn't get to all of it if I did that. So, in the interest of getting this important data out to the people, I will stop my celebrations and move directly, judiciously, to the total, ongoing, real-time annihilation of our enemies.
Okay. Alright, that's enough. Hope you're having a good night out there. Alex Jones is just maniac level today. Just maniac. Alright.